Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Young Classics. This is episode number 2084 and Doubleshot in 1970. I have two sci-fi related trades related to these comics. First up, it's the first two trades for Sideways. A character created by Dan DiDio, and of course you can't say because it's the picture here, but yeah, let me get a better picture. Yeah. This guy is apparently supposed to be DC Spider-Man. No joke. Yes, so this contains the first 6 out of 13 issues for Sideways. Sideways, real name being Derek James, gets the power from the whole death metal stuff. So he's like doing sideways portals, has a girl named Emily who's kind of like his love interest. And of course she makes his costume he wears. By the way, the artist here is initially was Keith Rockford. Then he got replaced by Robert Gill and Carl Gamageo. The writing here is done by Dan DiDio and Justin Jordan, which is interesting to come Justin Jordan because I don't think he's worked on a comic book prior to this one coming out. Yes. Now, this book did end not long before the end of Damage. Damage lasted for 15 issues for ending. This lasted for 13 issues. And oh, by the way, this also is the last of the ongoing series for the New Age Heroes line, where it actually had more than one trade and it actually lasts more than about 5 or 6 issues. This one lasted for 13, like I said. So he's hopping around, and of course, this trade here, this series here also is the debut of a character who actually is no longer alive in Carlton Comics. Who is my ask? Tempest Fugue, yes. Here's the strange thing about this guy. This guy is apparently supposed to be DC's version of the Watcher. Yep. First shows up in, by the way, this book came out, I think it was like 2018 this book came out. Yeah, 2018. And this guy is supposed to be DC's version of the Watcher, and he gets killed off like 2 years ago. No joke, he's dead. Yeah, this guy's dead. So, also in this book, his mom works for his company, and his mom actually gets killed by the end of issue 6. Yeah, his mom dies while he's doing this whole superhero stuff, and he's become very popular on YouTube. And there's also a whole thing of where he's like popular. There's this guy who is a terrorist who tries to manipulate his voice and with typing to make think he's a hero, but he really isn't. Now, this actually is a pretty good start for this series, but here's the strange thing though. Now, this book also has the same fate that all the rest of the books from this line suffer from, with the exception of Hawkman. After 3 issues, the original artist leaves. Yes. Now, I do not know the reason for this, why all the books, except for Hawkman, were after 3 issues, they replaced the artist. Do not know the reason for it. And you read this book like, oh, the artwork is really weird. Yeah, because it's a completely different artist. It was the artist who had previously worked on Flash with Josh Williamson. Don't problem with the artwork. I think it works fine with this book. It just seems kind of jarring after like 3 issues. Good start for this series. I give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is, not bad, Legion of Super-Heroes Volume 1 called The Choice. This collects the first 6 issues of Legion of Super-Heroes Volume 6. This book is a follow-up to a storyline from Action Comics, known as Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. This was a follow-up to what Jeff Johns started with Legion of Superheroes. This referred to as the not reboot, but basically the rebooted version of the characters. This, of course, will happen next after the storyline, where Earthman tried to ruin the reputation of the United Federation plans, thinking all aliens are evil, and in this book, the Legions are forced to make him a member, despite that he tried to overthrow the government and try to take Earth out of the United Federation plants. But they had no choice in the matter. And just to keep the whole pro-humanity stuff quiet down, so he joins, and he's given another ring too, aside from becoming a Legionnaire and gives him restrictions. He also given a Green Lantern ring. Yes, seriously. He's given the Green Lantern ring. Oh, by the way, we actually had 2 more trades for this one. This book lasted for 16 issues, by the way. Yes, 16 issues. This book collects the first, I think it was the first 6. Yeah, first 6. We have these artists in this book. We have Phil Jimenez, Scott Kubelich, Francis Porlita, Yari Claire, and Wayne Future. Yari Claire, Hi-Fi, who was the colorist, and Wayne Future was one of the artists, does the cover art here. Yes. This book is really good. I love Legion of Super-Heroes, and you're very curious, though. Who writes this book? Paul Levitz, who also ended up writing the relaunch of this book for New 52. Yeah, this book came out in 2011. Yes, I thought this was kind of weird. Like, okay, you bring this book in, and yeah, this technically is like volume 6 for this book. Yeah, and the first issue book, I thought it was 2011. I think it was released 2010. It was released in 2010. Yeah. And yeah, this is the first trade. The trade was released in 2011, but the issue since came out in 2010. First book released in 4 years. Yep. Yeah. The last book, issue 50, the previous volume for the series, was published back in 2009. So basically, this came like a year later. And that was not this version, the one that appears in this book. It's not that version. Oh no, this is the... They refer to this as Earth Prime. This is different than Prime Earth. This is the one Jeff Johns introduced. Well, the first version he introduced. Mm-hmm. And you might be curious, though, this is the same one that appears in this book? No. This is the pre-Zero version that they have appear in this book. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the one, that same book group that made its debut back in the 50s. Yep, this is that version. Yeah, and by the end of this book, by the way, Earthman, who made his debut, yeah, he's like an evil guy who forms a evil version Justice League known as the Justice League of Earth, which is a bad guy group. Yeah, and, well, Earthman himself, well, I'm not going to know any spoilers with this character. Apparently, he's a character from the Silver Age. Yeah. He is from the Silver Age. Yeah, and when he appeared in the previous book, he first appeared back in Superboy 218 back in the 1970s. Known as Absorption Boy. Yeah. It's like, okay, so the guy they formerly fought in this book. Yeah, he also appears in Legion of the Three Worlds. Which I'll get to more of that in the future. My chance to just got that one. But this book, pure awesomeness at its finest. And it's awesome the fact Paul Levitz wrote this. Now, you might be curious though. Did Paul Levitz create this guy? Earthman. No. He's created by Cary Bates and Mike Grell. Yeah, seriously. Paul Levitz, of course, yes, like I said, he wrote the next volume for the series. What was the last book he wrote for Legion? Well, to answer that, well, the thing with Paul Levitz is he was around on and off since the 70s, mostly. When he did this book, this is the first time issue 100, volume 4. That was the last time he wrote anything related to Legion of Superheroes. That was released back in 1998. And he did like a short story for that one. It was The Fires of Creation. It was just a one which I returned, but you could say his last time he did the book was back in Legion of Superheroes Volume 3, Issue 63, which was the end of that volume. That was back in 1989. So this book here was probably the first book since 1989 that he worked on. Of course, the book got released in 2010. So it had been 21 years since he worked on the book. Yeah, 21 years since he worked on Foley for Lead Super-Heores, and he would do it for the next several years. Then, of course, Bendis took over the book. Yep. But second two books of the review for this run for Legion. In case you're curious, though, the only volumes I have reviewed fully is the run that came out for New 52 and Bendis' volume. That's it. I have reviewed a little bit of the Legion archives, but in the case of ongoing series, just those two books, just two volumes, and now I'm reviewing volume 6, which I'm very happy because this book actually started the very year I started reading DC. But I didn't get to Legion Superheroes a little bit later, so I got into Superman. That's when I got Legion. But they're a great group. Yep. Now, aside from Earthman, do they have any other new member who joined this group in these issues, in these 6 issues per se, aside from this one guy? He also kind of becomes a good guy here. But yeah, Paul Levis is good at juggling these characters for a while. But I don't think, aside from Earthman himself, I don't think we actually anybody else joined the group this period of time. Yeah, we also have a thing in here where Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl's children got missing, and they have to go search for them. Yeah, and also Shadow Lass is found in bed with Earthman at the end of one of the issues. No joke. Apparently, I thought that was a very interesting idea to do that. Yeah, also, at one point, Saturn Girl gets missing, so she gets found by her sister, who runs to basically her husband, which is Lightning Lad. Yeah, that single Lightning Lad. That was something he teased back in the Silver Age, where these two got married, and, well, they got married. Well, I got hands Lightning Lad. You married a hot woman. Yep. Yeah. But love this stuff here. Okay, so that's the episode of you, and that's gonna be a video tonight. So stay tuned for tomorrow for more stuff like this. Lots of anime to discuss tomorrow. Okay, next video. Bye.